What's going on, guys? Welcome to Get Heavy Podcast, bringing you another glorious Zoom meeting. We're still in Corona. Me and John are going through midlife crises, but today, our guest, the illustrious, the glorious, the sexy Brook Dalton, proprietor of the 86 Art Gallery House, host and three-time winner maybe of the 86 scavenger hunt, a local Ventura Yeti legend. How are you, buddy? I guess technically. Anyway, how are you, brother?
I'm good, man. Hey, John, do you want to wait for Craig to start this thing going, or oh wait, that is Craig.
Yeah.
This is the new Craig.
Yep, it's the new me.
Craig.
I'm
okay,
4-day camping beard.
Yeah, I'm hanging in there. It's definitely, like we said, weird times, but trying to be as positive as possible and grinding through this thing.
Have you play in band? Have any of your bands like practiced, rehearsed, done any kind of anything?
No.
Anything? Is anybody doing anything? You know?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. Well, I shouldn't say that we're not doing anything. We were in kind of a little bit of a different situation because we started recording the new album at the beginning of the year. So I laid down all my drum tracks in like late February or something like that. And then this thing hit. And so the way that we always do it is I track the drums and then Jason from the Spires takes it and tracks all the guitars and everything, vocals and everything like that. So it kind of lined up with that where I got to get that out of the way. And so he's just been chipping away at it and working at it during this whole time. So yeah, there is activity, but for me personally, no, I haven't. I wish I miss it, man. It's another thing that went away and I just can't wait for it to come back.
Yeah, it's a trip, man. I mean, especially like if you were lucky enough to really get something out before it all went down. Like, how have you been with like creativity? I'm in a total slump, dude. Like, I just so happen to have a record coming out in July. Like, it's already been done and all that. You know what I mean? So that's cool. It's keeping me going. Getting this thing back off the ground has been kind of keeping me going. But like musically, dude, I've been I can't even seem to pick up my guitar, dude. It's a trip.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, one thing that I have been doing a little bit more is writing. So not so much music, but I've been writing some stuff. I actually had a poem published in the new magazine that came out this week from X-Ray Book Company. So that's cool. I mean, I wrote it a little while ago, but it's cool to have it come out. A little bit of a light a fire under my ass and maybe do some more of that. So but I think a lot of it is just the general mood, right? Like if you have this kind of wet blanket over you, it's kind of hard to maybe motivate and pick up your guitar and get creative or something. I don't know.
It's just like it seems so. It's weird to say this at this point. It just seems so not important. You know?
Yeah, kind of a little bit. Yeah.
I mean, my entire life, as you guys both know, is music and shows and bringing people together. And it's like the furthest thing from my mind, honestly. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know what's really on my mind anymore. There's so much going on. It's like, it's daunting. It's a daunting time right now.
Yeah, it's really weird. I'm finally now just starting to get like the juices flowing and starting to feel I need deadlines, dude. I need pressure and I need deadlines. So if I don't have a real goal to work towards, I don't fucking work at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'll throw together a song in 3 days if I have to. You know, it won't be good, but it'll be it'll be a song or something. But it's crazy because I know you're so heavily involved in the art world on top of all that. Have you found some time? Have you been like talking to artists and seeing how well they're all doing? For those of you who don't know, Brook has a house that in Ventura, it's legendary. The parties have been legendary, always been respected, but every single piece in the house has an 86 in it due to the address 86. It's So I mean,
art gallery.
It's an art gallery. I mean, I can't imagine how many fucking artists you have contacts for, but some amazing ones. You know, actually, at the end, I'd like you to give us like a little tour around some of the cool pieces.
What?
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, totally.
What is some of the things that the art world has done to adjust? Like, what have some artists been doing? I'm sure. I mean, like, every fact of life is adjusting.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
What is something that artists are doing?
Well, to Craigie, real quick, to answer your question real quick, I have been in contact. I went through, like, when this thing first hit, and I was furloughed for a month, and then I worked from home for about 5 or 6 weeks. So during that time, I kind of made it a point to reach out to 2, 3, 4 people just to touch base, make sure everyone was, you know, hanging in there. Even if it was someone I maybe didn't talk to that often, I made it a point to kind of just send them a text or something, let them know I was thinking of them.
Yeah.
But I also took it, you know, like financially, I didn't really get hit. And that sounds lame to say, but it's true.
I'm lucky in that way. I'm lucky in that way too.
A lot of people did. A lot of people did. And so, I mean, imagine being an artist. The first thing that goes in a situation like this is you know, high-end kind of glamour purchases, right? So people are gonna, whatever, if they were saving up for a Jaguar, they're not gonna buy a Jaguar anymore.
Yeah.
People kind of randomly buying $1,000 oil painting. That's not gonna happen either when you don't know if the next time you're gonna have steady work, maybe.
Right.
So I wasn't really in that boat. I'm thankful for that, but I also wanted to be conscious about maybe sharing that a little bit. So I did turn around during this time, and I continued to, I commissioned a piece, like one piece from a artist that I really respect a lot. It hasn't arrived yet, but her name is Annie Owens. She's really great. You should look her up. She's the editor of High Fructose magazine.
Oh, okay.
There's another piece coming soon. So right now, like, I have 2 in the pipeline, you know, but I wanted to I didn't want my life to get so abnormal or just different if I could help it, you know. So I didn't want that to kind of shrivel up and dry up just because it kind of made sense on paper for that to be the case. But like I said, I wasn't really affected, you know, and I don't have kids that I'm worrying about feeding or anything like real life problems that a lot of my friends have. So yeah, I actually put a lot of thought into that and wanted to keep that going. So I'm glad I did. I'm excited to see these pieces and what's going to come of it.
Yeah.
Johnny, a lot of stuff. I mean, you can imagine a lot of these gallery openings are turning into online. It's kind of like everything else, Comic-Con or what are these big things that used to just be a big hubbub of people gathering is now online. They still try to do it. I don't think it has the same impact, or, you know, the saying in the musical instrument world is, can you smell it? When you buy something online, it's like, yeah, but if you can't play it or touch it or feel it,
right,
you don't really know what you're getting. So yeah, you're looking at good photos or good videos of art pieces, but a lot of the selling power of those gallery openings or exhibits is being there and seeing it, you know. So they're trying. I don't know how the percentage of success they're having compared to the old ways, but it's definitely still chugging along to some degree. Yeah.
Have you heard of anyone doing anything where you're like, that's a fucking pretty creative way to do it? You know what I mean? Besides doing online or anything like that.
I've seen people do like much more process videos and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, whereas before it was kind of like more of like an unveiling, like you have no idea, and here's everything all at once. You know, with the final product. I think a lot of ways that some artists are kind of keeping the interest alive or staying busy, at least, is showing processes from beginning to end, and then you kind of get more invested in it, and you might be more interested in buying something.
Yeah, I want, you know, that makes sense too, because, you know, when you think about like the process it makes, it takes someone 100 hours to make a painting, you know what I mean, or something like that. It's like, you can see it, and then you see them list it for $50,000, and you're like, you're out of your fucking mind. But you didn't realize it took 1,000 man hours into it. So when you're like actually like producing that kind of stuff online, it's people are really starting to see how it's like from beginning to end created. It have to have a little more bite to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's hard to realize too, like you said, people look at final products and they just see, it is what it is and they have no background with it. But with these processes, you also kind of realize the training or the schooling that they might have had. So yeah, you say 100 hours to make a painting, but it might have taken them 5 years of art school to start that.
Right.
Painting,
To even,
so
yeah.
You're kind of paying for all of it,
Yeah, that's a trip, dude. I mean, it's just pretty incredible,
think about, and not just art, but I mean work and this and whatever else, man. Think if this pandemic would have hit in the 80s or the 90s. Like no pre-internet days, no Zoom, no nothing. Everything would have been communicated by phone call or whatever. I mean, I think things like art galleries, for instance, would just completely dried up. I don't know. I mean, at least we have the opportunity to try to be creative to get around this thing.
Yeah.
More creative than we would have 20 years ago. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. I always wonder like how with the internet and all that stuff. I mean, it's been able to explode the art world. You know what I mean? Over the last 20. How did you get into like? I know you've always been into art, but how did you get into like literally collecting art with 86 on? I've the million times I've been to your house, I don't think I've ever really asked you how. Like, what is the genesis of you starting to do this kind of stuff?
A lot of the blame can be put on Andy Proctor. You know Andy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Andy's a really great artist. He's probably literally my oldest friend. And Andy and I always kind of grew up together, like kind of getting into stuff. Like he'd get into something and share it with me. We'd both get into it. And then I'd get into something, whatever it was, books, comic books, whatever, And so he started, because he's a good artist, started getting into like this underground, mostly LA at the time, but this, like the kind of the juxtaposed scene before there was a juxtaposed scene. He was in at the very, very beginning of this stuff. And so he started taking me to shows down there, and I just kind of got hooked along with him. At the same time, this house, 86, was kind of really starting to turn into like a community-based hangout spot, party house, whatever you want to call it. But people kind of just felt comfortable coming here, being here, and for art and music, and just and friends and talent in general. I think it was just a healthy, good, fun place to be for a lot of people. So at the time, kind of a big problem with the art world, like kind of what I was just saying, because this was like 96. Was it was really hard for artists, especially artists who might have been doing some kind of more underground type stuff, to get their work seen, in any sort of fashion, because the magazines weren't out, the websites weren't out, or not so much. And so it just kind of turned into Andy and I talking like, well, there's a lot of people coming through this place, and wouldn't it be kind of cool if we could kind of promote artists through this place? And then I just had the idea of like a shared theme for a gallery type of a thing, but I was kind of throwing spaghetti against the wall. There was no pieces at the time. It's just something like, wouldn't it be kind of cool if,
Right.
And then the next thing I know, he does this really cool painting, and he threw there's a big 86 in it, and he just gave it to me. So it was above the mantle for a while, and then it turned into the next person comes along and sees it and kind of hears the story, and like,
yeah,
I think a lot of it is it kind of gets in their brain and their psyche a little bit. And even if they're maybe not artists, I'm talking about, interested at first, they kind of go home, or maybe they start working on the next project, and it kind of comes to the surface a little bit, like, oh, what if I could put it here, or I could put it there, and they kind of get their own ideas going around it. So it kind of just started snowballing, man. It started with a kind of a localized scene. There's like a lot of local artists were contributing and happy to be involved with it. And it was very reciprocal. I was always like, if they had any events coming up or they had any info they wanted to share, then I would help spread the word about them and get that out there. And so, yeah, I got to help people, get other jobs here and there through it or whatever, or make some sales here and there. So, yeah, but then it just kind of, it it got bigger and wider than just the local stuff. So it kind of all started with Eric White, who's my favorite artist in the whole world. And I just wrote him one day. I just thought, like, what's the worst that can happen? He's going to say no.
Yeah, he's going to shoot you down. Yeah.
Big deal. Like,
yeah.
He can't say no if I don't ask him. So so I told him what we had going on, and I asked him, and he did a piece. And I think that was kind of the impetus for all these other big names in the lowbrow art world, because I was like, wow, he did one? Okay, well, shit, okay. And then I just started getting a little bit out of control at a point. So
yeah, no, I mean, it's incredible. When you really see, like, the house that you've created there is such an incredible culture of creativity and inspiration, because you can't walk through the walls of through the rooms in your house and not look at the sheer amount of talent on the walls and go, like, fuck, man, I got to get to work. You know what I mean? Like I was thinking about it the other day, because I was passing by your house and I haven't been over there in months, obviously, at this point, life and COVID and all that bullshit. And I thought, man, I got to fucking go over and see Brook, because every time I feel drained, like creatively, or that, I have to come over and hang out and see you guys. You know what I mean? Because at your house, I mean, you believe that a space like holds energy, kind of, right? I mean, your house is absolutely created that, and you've done it with the scavenger hunts and the Visigoths and all the events that you do. You know what I mean? You're on your fifth generation of kids that are, you know what I mean, growing up through your house. It's not to sound creepy or anything, but I mean, it really is, like, it's pretty incredible. Like, every 10 years there's a cycle a few new people that come in, and you're like, new artists, new musicians, and everyone's meeting each other. And your house has been the hub for that for 22 years at this point. You know what I mean? Yeah. The stories, it goes from like Animal House stories to like incredible stories of who was it? The guy from Crooked Fingers or whatever that played at your, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Eric Bachman. Yeah.
Yeah, Eric Bachman doing living room shows, and you know what I mean? Like, that stuff's so fucking rad. I mean, for you to be able to continually create that culture for people and for no real value in itself besides just the fact to do it. I mean, that's one of the reasons I love you, man. You know what I mean? It's because in all the years, you've never ever strayed from for the people, art for the people, and doing the thing you want to do because you want to help people out, and I respect the shit out of it. It's awesome.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I really do. I get to wake up every day in my favorite gallery. I got to walk down to get in my car, and I get to pass these pieces that I never get tired looking at. I'm always thankful. I'm never ever not going to be thankful for what's happened to the walls at this place. It's pretty amazing.
And I say all that as a man that's run through your house in a Viking suit with a sword. You know what I mean? It's the amount of sheer chaos that's come out of that place.
It's gotten live over there a few times.
It's gotten wild. I might be personally responsible for at least 3 of the 5 times the cops have showed up.
Oh yeah, yeah. What do you mean?
That's right. Might. That's right. No, yeah, that's right. I remember the cops got called because you were dressed as a Viking in the front yard.
And I hacked that neighbor's bush in half. Remember?
Yeah.
Dude, it was like 10 in the morning, and Craigie and Matt were just super drunk on cheap whiskey, and they're like hacking my neighbor's rose bushes.
Yeah.
And then they had a chicken on the end of the sword, and and then the neighbor came out, and Craig yelled something like "You're next," and ran off. He freaked out.
Yeah. He was looking at me all weird, dude.
He was looking at him all funny.
You know what I mean? We came to that. We came to that hunt to fuck shit up, dude, and we did. I mean, I had to hand out 1 million apologies the next day. So many apologies. I threw my own bandmate on the ground like as hard as I could. Poor guys. But yeah, I mean, it's just so awesome,
Let's can we talk about John's leg and what's going to happen to his life in the next week or so?
John, tell us. I see your wheelchair in the background. What happened? Tell us.
All right,
also, happy birthday, by the way.
It's a knee rover. Okay, I can put my knee on it and I can scoot around. All of the doctor's offices have been very impressed by it. So basically, I was
bunny hop on that thing.
So yeah, I could. Desmond tries to.
You can take some curbs, dude.
You Brody on it?
Look. This is like straight up Utah Jazz fan white. on what happened to my foot. Okay? This is what happened. So, my kid's birthday party at my parents' house. My parents have a pool with a diving board. I didn't go swimming the whole day. The whole day. Didn't go swimming. Literally the last 30 minutes were there. I'm like, everyone's swimming in the pool. I'm like, I'll jump in. I'll do some cannonballs, you know? I'm going to be fun, dad. Here we go. Go, jump, good. Go, jump, good. Third jump, go. And like, you do your little baby steps, and then you jump to the end of the diving board. I was doing the baby steps, and I went to jump, and I slipped. And as I slipped, my right foot caught at the end of the diving board, and just like went, whoosh, just like, not fun. And I just like, so instead of like feet up, fall back on the diving board and just like roll in, I like catch myself and then I crumble and I just fall into the pool.
It's not even a good fall.
Yeah, I just like fall into the pool and I'm just like, oh my God, I feel it right away. And I'm just like, oh my God. And I get up and I crawl out of the pool and I'm just like, oh my God, this is fucking bullshit. And I'm like, I could walk on it. It didn't feel broken. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, it doesn't feel broken, but it also does kind of feel broken. Like, so this is 90 miles away from my house. And everyone's like, well, I'll take you to the hospital here. And I'm like, no, I'm going home. And if I go to the hospital, I'm going out there. You know what I mean? So got a ride home, went to urgent care the next day. They took their freaking x-rays, they take their x-rays and they're like, oh, it's not broken. It just has this little but there is this part right here that we're kind of worried about. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, we'll check with the orthopedic doctor. If we don't hear back from him, you're probably fine. We'll wrap you up and we'll send you to the orthopedic next week. Anyways, cool. Didn't hear from him. Fast forward to next week, which was this last Monday. And I'm like, oh yeah, it just feels like a really bad sprain. Go in there. Doctor's like, all right, cool. Yeah, look at this. See this? We got to have surgery on that. We're having surgery this Friday. And I'm just like, yo.
Oh,
man. I wasn't really like, yo. I was like, when I'm in official rooms like that, I don't do well.
Yeah.
Just like white walls, official buildings,
yeah.
People that kind of have a little bit more control over you than you do.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
So like when that starts happening, I'm just kind of like, okay, cool. All right, cool. All right, I got to have surgery. All right, nothing I can do about this. Let's get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? And I took my mom with me because, I'm fucking almost 40 years old and my mom has to go with me to the doctor because I don't listen to the doctor. You know what I mean? Like, she'll hear what they actually say,
Right.
And all you heard is they're amputating my foot and I can't
exactly.
breathe anymore.
I'll come out and I'm like,
God.
I'm like, guys, let's all come over and have a last supper before I die. You know what I mean? Like, I'm dramatic as fuck. What can I say, So,
so you're, for the record, you're going in tomorrow.
I'm going in tomorrow.
So this podcast will be released tomorrow when you're in surgery.
Yeah. When I'm getting admitted into the hospital is when this podcast will get released.
Yeah. 12
hours right now. So basically what happened is I ripped my tendon in my foot.
Oh man.
So I ripped my big toe tendon and basically like my big toe's like separating from my foot. Because the tendons hold you together, Yeah, I know. It's fucking gnarly. So, and then they're going to put a screw in my foot to bring it together so that the tendon will re-grab. Doctor talk,
Brooke, I'll give you $5 to lick that toe when you see
Are you gonna set off metal detectors now for the rest of your life?
I mean, probably. See, the thing is, though, is that, like, my ankle sets off the TSA fucking circle thing.
Your ankle does?
I've never had surgery, ever. I've never had surgery, ever. It's my first time. And my ankle has, like, I've always been like, what the fuck is this?
Your ankle?
Yeah,
how do you know
it's
your ankle?
Because you put your hands up and the fucking thing goes swoosh, swoosh.
Yeah.
Like fucking, and I'm over there and then I go over and they're like, what's in your ankle? I'm like, what the fuck do you mean what's in my ankle? You know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, my fucking ankle's in my ankle.
John, do you wear a
What
charm
is it?
bracelet around your ankle?
Yeah, there could be something, dude.
You
Your
know?
anklet?
Oh man.
So it's the first surgery of my life. It's the first
Oh,
time I've ever been put under anesthesia.
Um.
Like,
So wait, is this like an outpatient thing where you're going to be done a few hours
yeah,
later?
I'll be home. I'll be home tomorrow.
Okay,
Night.
good.
And then I'm just gonna fucking lay in bed for the weekend. I actually just got a delivery of edibles for my for my shit, edibles to get me through. So
What are the chances those are actually going to last until tomorrow?
Yeah, they will last till tomorrow. They will last till tomorrow.
I know Shimer.
This might be the doctor calling me. Let's see who it is. Hello?
Ventura Medical Clinic. Calling about your recent visit.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, see. Real.
You know, the last phone conversation that Johnny and I had was the last thing we said to each other was like, hey, let's start meeting up and going on walks like in the evening. Remember that, John? We were like, we'll catch up, we'll talk about heavy stuff, PMA, and we'll just walk a few blocks and buddy it up. And we said, yeah, that's a great idea. We'll do that like once a week, blah, blah, blah. And then if you didn't want to do that, dude, you didn't have to like hobble yourself to get out of it, or you didn't have to like, get all misery on the situation. You could just told me.
You know,
he's over there with the sledgehammer. He's all, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm gonna be there. I want to be there tomorrow to pick your ass up and film some anesthesia, John. That's what I want to do.
No, thankfully, my mom is picking.
Oh no,
me up.
I already talked to her. I'm coming, bro. It's happening.
You think your mom's picking up?
She will not record me or anything like that.
Dress.
But I mean, I have to admit, I am a little freaked out by the anesthesia. I am. Yeah. I'm like, and you know, like I've liked to party in my days. You know what I mean? There would have been a time in my life where I'd be like, bring it on.
Load it up.
Load it up. You know what I mean? Yeah. And now I'm kind of like, I don't know, man. That's kind of freaky. Like,
it's a weird thing. You'll be fine, bud. It'll be fine.
Yeah. I'm sure I will be. I just try to like not freak myself out.
Yeah.
Only you would blow out your foot like 3 days before your actual birthday. You know what I mean? If I went over to your house, you're trying to off-road through your backyard. It was pretty good.
Tailing in that thing.
Dude, but the thing is, I bought this knee scooter off of an old dude in LA, and like literally like the day after, like after I went to urgent care, that's the only thing I drove to LA. I was like, I could have got a ride the next day, but I was like, you know what? I need to get this thing now. And this knee scooter has been the best thing ever.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
He just has to lock the hubs when he goes in the backyard. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
It's so good. Yeah, I would come to his house to go we're gonna record a podcast. And he's like, hey man, I'm gonna be about 20 minutes late. I'm like, where are you? He's like, I had to go to LA. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing in LA, dude? You just blew out your leg. You know? I come back, he's fucking hightailing it with the adult-sized knee scooter, you know?
Yeah. You know, it's dude, I've been going to I went to the hospital the other day for I got a COVID test.
Oh,
okay.
I got a COVID test. There we go. Okay, so I had to go get a fucking COVID test at a county hospital.
Antibody or the regular one?
No, the fucking
the nostril one?
Through the nose?
Dude, I didn't even feel it.
Are you negative or do you have the results yet?
I don't know if I should worry that I didn't feel it or not. You know what I mean? Like, where I'm like, you know, like, but like,
you might John Numbskull, you know?
Yeah. So, but I went.
Did you get the results?
No, they said that if I hear from them, it's bad.
Yeah. So they pull you aside. They're all, no one has this. We're fucking with everybody.
Oh,
well, I mean, you wouldn't be having the surgery if you had it, right?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
So they would, you know, it's
yeah.
So I got my COVID test. I think I'm good.
Good.
See, you know what, man? Though I want the antibody test. I want to know if I had it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Then I'll feel like a real champ if I know I already had it. You know?
I mean,
we got really sick at the very beginning of this.
So did I.
Yeah, Rosie thinks she had it, dude. Rosie and my wife and.
Yeah, Johnny Marston and I both in like January were just laid out sick, like fucking sick. You know, like
yeah.
Thing, like, hey, this is like this is not very normal, like how
Right.
sick we are. So, but I don't want to walk around saying like I think I don't know. But we're definitely feeling something for sure back then. So I don't know. I guess it wouldn't be the worst thing if we did and had the
Well, and then it's like, okay, so you have the antibodies. Can you get it again? I don't, all those things. But it would be nice to know if I actually had it. I'd feel a little more invincible.
Yeah.
I don't even feel. I don't feel like this shit is just. It's getting to be a lot. You know? Like where it's like, okay, today I actually went out. I had my roommate take me to this like outdoor restaurant place. Because I really wanted to try this place, and I'm like, I'm gonna go crazy because I've been home for the last like 4 days, except going to the hospital, and I know I'm about to be home a lot. So, anyways, went out today, and it's like, I'm of the thought that it makes sense that hot air, you know what I mean, like hot weather slows something like this down.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean, like. Listen, when Trump said it in fucking whatever March, I wanted to kill him. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, this is the stupidest thing you could be saying right now. Like how, or whatever the fuck he said it. But then it's like, as the hot weather came around, I'm like, I understand that it can slow it down. And the fact that it doesn't feel like it's slowing down.
Yeah, scary.
Is really scary. Like,
I mean, that's
what isn't, you know what I mean? Like, I just want to be like, where's all my flu homies at now? When I'm all my worse than the fucking flu, homie. This isn't no worse than the flu. Like, where are those people at?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I almost feel like I should have started, like, I wish I went and commented on every single person's, this is no worse than the flu, so that next year, when their memory pops up and it goes, you commented on fucking this, I'm like, oh, you fucking idiot. Fuck you. I just wanted to remind you how fucking stupid you are.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a trip, dude. I mean, I just got back from camping for 4 days. We were at the Kern River, and and Kern County is, well, obviously Bakersfield's a different animal, but up there, I mean, it was 100 fucking degrees every single day. And I mean, you're supposed to be wearing a mask in the store, but no one is. I mean, no one is at all. And there's not that many people. I mean, there's people around you and camping and all that, but the numbers I'm sure are so small up there, but I could see how the heat, man, like, how could anything live on a surface like that? You know what I mean?
In a place like that, I get it. But also it doesn't mean, I don't think that it lives out. Do you know what I mean? The people that have it are there.
Right. It could, very well could be. You got a lot of out-of-towners, a lot of drunk kids on the river, you know what I mean? That the whole deal, that was just being white trash, water rafting, like white water rafting down the rivers. It was awesome, man. I took the kids down. Yeah. Took the kids down some fucking rapids, gave them the Casamas hello. Like, this is so sketchy. I'm like, you're ready now. It was awesome, man.
You can hold your breath for 30 seconds. It's scientifically proven.
I'm like, if a rock pulls you under, I loved you. I've always loved you. I can't do nothing. I'm gonna float on your back. And then when it gets cold, swim to the side. That's all I got. That was my whole deal.
Riptide?
I mean, they had life vests and the whole deal. It was a lot better than my old man gave me, dude.
Yeah.
My old man gave me a whitewater rafting trip I'll never forget in my life, dude. It was incredible.
I can't imagine. This is the same guy that has a cannon on his property.
Right. Yeah. Cannons. I've caught him scuba diving in a fucking 3-foot blow-up kiddie pool with a harpoon gun. You know what I mean? He's done all sorts of crazy shit, dude.
That's a
when I was a kid, my dad goes, hey, we're camping at Kearney's. Go, you want to go whitewater rafting? I'm all, yeah, I'm 10. Totally. What is that? I have no idea. You know what I mean? So I'm stoked. I'm all, whatever it is. Yep. And so he's all right. And starts blowing up this fucking raft, like a Walmart special, and it's just big enough to lay in. Like, he can lay on his stomach, and he's holding on to the edge, and he goes, get on. And I'm all, on what? On you? Like, on you? I get on top. So I'm on top of him. I'm laying on him, and I'm chunky, and I'm 10, and I have zero upper arm strength. And so we're fucking going, and it's sketchy, bro. I mean, it's sketchy. It's not even upper Kern. It's like lower Kern. You know what I mean? Like where everyone dies. And so we're fucking, we're diving underwater and flying around. I'm holding on for dear life, right? And so finally it gets calm, and then we just see like this plateau, and you're like, I'm starting to panic, you know what I mean? Because it's just, I know it's something, it's a drop. There's a drop,
There are little falls there, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not 3-4 foot. It wasn't massive, but big enough, you know what I mean? To where when you hit, if you sink, you're going under. So anyway, we go off, bam, I bounce off of his back, and I land in the water, and now we're in the rapids, and I'm being drugged down the fucking rapids, and I'm holding on to the 1/8-inch rope that's around the fucking thing. And my old man's trying to grab me, and he's going, "Get in the boat, pussy!" He's called me pussy. And I'm crying. I finally get out of the rapids. I'm all bruised up, dude. I get to the side of the ball. You motherfucker! And I just like cuss him out at like 10 years old.
Dude, when I was a kid, my uncle always had a boat and jet skis and stuff like that. We'd always meet, like, they live in Colorado. We'd always meet like at the river or the lake. We go Lake Powell a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But then a few times we'd go out to like Carpinteria and we'd launch the boat out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I would tube out in the ocean. Like straight up, like behind, you know what I mean? Yeah. Behind a boat, like lake tubing.
Yeah.
And they would take us out beyond the oil rigs, like on an inner tube, just fucking,
miles out.
Just
so
miles
good.
out.
There's something to be said about an uncle from the 80s, bro.
And it's my uncle and my dad. It's my uncle and my dad, of course, It's weird. I haven't had a great relationship with this uncle in like almost 20 years. I wonder
why. Yeah.
I think you just had a breakthrough.
Yeah. I didn't know this was that Zoom meeting. Wait a minute.
Oh, dude.
So anyways, so fucking like, and I'm just like, look, we go straight when we're out here. Straight. Utah Jazz straight. Okay, so we go out beyond the oil rig, go out, there's the big elephant seals that are on the tubs out there. And okay, cool, let's go back. We come like half a mile back, and then they start just do a little loop, just whip me around, and I fucking fall. I'm out in the middle of the fucking ocean, like the middle of the fucking ocean, just like, and like, like I see the red flag go up, whoever's in the back with the red flag, like, and it comes back around, and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm so fucking scared.
It's so fucking terrifying, dude. I've almost died in a boat. I don't know how many fucking times.
Start swimming back, and like they get like 150, 200 feet away from me, and they turn off the engine. And they make me swim all the way to them. Just like, and they're just like, it's like my cousins, my dad, my uncle, everyone's just like, and they're like, oh, what's that behind you? And I turn around, and there's literally something behind me. There's literally something back there, and I'm just like, oh my fucking god, dude. Oh my fucking god.
I love it, dude.
And so that's, yeah, that shit fucking sucks.
I can't believe tomorrow's your first surgery.
Tomorrow's my first surgery. Yeah. I've never had a surgery. Yeah. Like I said, I even asked my doctor, I'm like, can we just do like a local? Can you like numb my leg? But then I'm like, I might as well get a free buzz out of it.
Yeah, you don't want to be awake for them peeling your skin open and shit, dude. No way. And my brother, my half brother is a physician's assistant in orthopedics, and every once in a while, he knows I don't like it. I don't like watching shit like that, dude. I can watch like Dr. Pimple Popper or something, but like he'll send me a picture of a foot. I'm all, like, I'm all, oh, I can't stop looking. You just can't, like, I mean, it's disgusting, dude. Like, the shit they do in a surgery, you're like, get the fuck out. So yeah, dude, like if you play with the tendon, like the foot or the fingers are like, you're like, no, dude, no. No.
So it's gonna be it'll be fine. I'm like I said, it'll be fine.
Oh, Dave, I just remember I've always loved you, man.
I
All right, R.I.P. John.
R.I.P. R.I.P. JS. It'll be really weird on this podcast tomorrow if I fucking die.
We should do a podcast. Oh, that'd be so sad. Oh, yeah. Brooke, you had any surgeries, major injuries? You had a surgery?
When I was young, I had like I had like an inner ear surgery. I had like tonsils out, stuff like that. As far as like broken bones, it's never been that bad. I broke my heel. I broke my leg down by my ankle. Broke my nose. Not a bone, but
I mean, what is it?
Yeah, it's not nothing. It's just time takes care of it. So
Yeah.
I mean, Johnny, you're uncomfortable. You're in pain now. That's gonna go away. You're getting yourself fixed. It'll be fine.
Yeah. It'll be fine. I've had to do a lot of accepting in this year of my life.
Yeah.
So it's
definitely the year of accepting shit that's out of your control for sure.
I mean, my entire life has changed.
Yeah.
Like career, house, family, fucking, you know what I mean? It's like this has been my year of basically relinquishing what little bit of control I thought I had. What control I thought I had, I really have no control. So this is just kind of like another thing, and it's actually been kind of like it's all good lessons are hard. All hard lessons are good lessons. Otherwise, they're pointless lessons.
That's a good attitude. Yeah.
So
I like that.
That's kind of been like my attitude about everything.
Good.
So, and this is kind of another one of them. I'm just like, okay, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, listen to me. I'm like complaining about getting a screw in my foot. And there's people that have been through so much worse.
Yeah, that's true. That's all good. I like hearing that attitude for all that stuff. It could be a lot worse, man. You could be piling.
You know what I mean? Like, trust me, I lose my ways during the week of having that attitude, but that is like the attitude that I try to live in, in not a failing grade, 70% or better.
Yeah.
Well, and there's something at least to look forward to. I hear baseball is going to be coming back.
Oh yes,
you hear about
baseball
that shit?
is coming back.
Right?
We haven't talked about this.
Mid-July or something?
Yeah, July. Okay, yeah.
Like 23rd or 4th or something.
Dude, we are going to. Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
Are they going to be doing like people at the games or nothing? No empty stadiums.
Empty stadium. I mean,
that's wild.
I'm amazed. Like, I think it's dumb. I like the first idea that they had, or not. I don't know if it was the first idea. But the idea that I liked the best was, which would never work now because of how stupid everyone is, was 10 teams in Florida, 10 teams in Texas, 10 teams in Arizona. Because basically, in those three areas, there's enough professional fields that are close enough to each other.
Yeah.
Where, like, those teams play each other, and then, it would be like,
It'd be like three bubbles around the country where all the teams could get their shit done.
The regional, it would just be regional. You wouldn't have to fly. You fucking take buses. You know what I mean? Like you.
So are they doing now? What did they settle on? I don't know. I just heard the reopening. They haven't come out with any details.
They haven't even come out with it. Like basically 60 games. 60 games starts July 24th. Summer training starts up July 1st. And there's DHs in both leagues, designated hitters. I don't like that. Yeah, but I mean, but for the sake of a 60 game thing.
Is that what they're doing? Only 60 games?
60 games, yeah. When they normally play 182.
That's crazy, dude.
162.
Yeah.
They baseball plays 162 games in 182 calendar days.
It's insane, man. Yeah.
Like, think about all that traveling.
Oh, it's insane.
On top of it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just like where it's like, you're just like, I imagine like, it must be, I mean, I get it. Cause like for 9 months, you're just like, dude, just like wake up, go. All right, dude, go. You know, there's
Well, you
no-
know that because that traveling has such a huge effect on your immune system and your, you know what I mean, your overall tiredness. I know, I'm sure they're all on privates and it's fucking probably fine.
No,
you know?
I mean, no, it's like, if anything, it's
they have a
chartered.
jet.
If anything, they're just chartered.
Yeah,
You know
but
what I mean?
it's
Where
not
it's
going to
like,
be uncomfortable. But it'll be
No.
interesting to see like them playing. You know what I mean? Like with no crowd and all that. Because I've been watching UFC. You know, I watch UFC a lot, and they're the only fucking things that's been going on. I mean, but there's no crowds at all, and it's crazy to watch, dude. Because
yeah,
it makes the fight so much more intense. You know?
Yeah, I mean, the Korean baseball league,
Yeah.
they put like stuffed animals in the seats.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Fucking best.
That's rad,
Like,
man.
Like, I mean, I think like if I live in the wrong country, that's all I gotta say. Because and it's based purely on my fucking the fact that Korean baseball teams put stuffed animals in their seats, and they're like, this is
And
fucking
you're a huge
like,
K-pop
basically
fan.
like I just want that. I mean, I just want that frame of mind. I want that freedom. You know what I mean? I want to know that free thought of just going like, what are you bummed out about? It's just a fucking Bob SquarePants sitting behind home plate.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Johnny, do you think that they're, with these new rules, they're kind of putting their toe in the water to see if, like, this can set some sort of precedent for next season or whatever, then go, well, we did it then, and so now we're going to implement this, and that's the way it is now?
I mean, I think the extra innings things, yes. Did you see what they're doing in the extra innings?
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it would start later, but I mean, like, I get it with like, I understand changing those types of rules for the fact of staying relevant. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think stuff needs to always progress in some way, shape, or form. Otherwise, you're going to get left behind. You know what I mean? And baseball, as much as I would not agree with it, and as much as I'm like, I love fucking 18-inning games and 19-inning games, I understand why people don't.
Are they stopping that?
No, well, what they're doing is basically like they're going to start. So like a game is 9 innings. And in the 10th inning, when you go to bat, your team starts with a runner on second base.
Oh, weird.
So like
basically move the advantage along.
Just kind of
because I remember, dude, watching that last World Series of the Dodgers and that game that went to whatever was 14, 15 fucking innings. You know, I was like, oh no, this was brutal. I mean, I'm not a diehard fucking baseball fan. You know what I mean? So it was rough to watch a 4.5 hour fucking game. You know, like
it's a thing of you know, what do you do to stay relevant? Because you have to. I've always said adapt or die in everything.
I think that baseball has this perceived problem, and they try to
remain classic.
Their main, I don't know if it's the commissioner's office or what, but for the last like decade or so, they keep saying they need to up the pace and to make games a little bit shorter. But I don't know any diehard baseball fans that want that. No. I think what they're trying to do is reach out to the people who are kind of on the fence of liking baseball or not liking baseball.
But what I think it is,
it's too long.
What I think it is the people that are into that are older. You know what I mean? Like people that are under 35, like unless they're like playing baseball or like just really, really into it, there's no casual fans.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're trying to get the casual fans.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I mean, you have to look at the excitement of basketball and, you know, all the others, like, you know, basketball is way more jump up. You know, you're cheering the whole game.
Yeah.
Baseball, you can miss the first pitch of the game and you miss the entire game.
Right. Yeah. Right.
They could hit a home run on the first pitch of the game, and that
was all the action. What do they say that the average play time is, like 15, 20 minutes? or something like of actual action in a game? You know what I mean? Like,
oh well, like I watch a condensed game. Like I have an app that does baseball games, and when the game's over, I can watch a condensed baseball game in 10 minutes.
right, exactly. You know what I mean? So it's,
You know,
I appreciate the game because I can put them on and I can, you know, kind of pay attention and do some shit. And you know they're going to replay it about 6 million times if something happens, you know, because they have that option. Or it's like if you're watching football, basketball, anything else, I mean, you blink and it's like, oh, what the fuck? You know, you miss the one cool play in the game, you know, like.
With baseball, that I've always loved and respected is that it's a grind.
It is, yeah.
It's fucking like it's not not the end of the world today, and it's not the end of the world tomorrow. You'll live to fight another day. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because you got 180 more fucking games to play. You know,
each game is a grind.
Right.
The table is a grind.
Yeah.
And the season is a grind.
Yeah,
I mean, everything about it is the long haul.
Think about it. I mean, baseball's a game of failure, as I always say.
Mm-hmm.
The best players in baseball, the best players, Hall of Fame players.
They get a hit every third at bat.
7 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
Right.
Those are the best. That's like fucking all-star. Like fucking
hero status.
Yo, you played an entire career and you failed 7 out of 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
Here, you'd be immortalized for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Fucking, you are.
And not only that, you had to be on steroids to do it.
Well, if you're a player and you fail 8 out of 10 times,
You'd be okay.
You're like, you're decent.
Yeah.
It's so funny, man. Yeah.
But the fact is that a baseball player gets, what is it? Let's see here, 160 games, say 3 at bat, like 500 at bats a year, or between 400 and 500 at bats a year. So when you do 500 at bats, 7 out of 10 out of 500, you know.
Yeah.
What is that? Like 70% of 500. That's I mean.
We're gonna see Shimer's math skills right now.
Huh? Oh, you want to see my math skills? Okay.
No, I get what you're saying though. But you know what I mean? It's
3.5.
3.5. 350.
3.5. Yeah, 3.5. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're batting 350, you're fucking killing it.
You are an insane machine.
You're a god. Yeah.
You're a god. You are a god.
Yeah.
If you bat 350 for your career, you are a fucking god.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's a trip, man. Well, I'm excited to see stuff come back, you know.
If you bat 250 for your career, you're fucking, you better have been good in the field.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, it's nice to see stuff coming back, though. I mean, everyone's trying to figure it out, you know what I mean? My big fear is watching, you know, after we just got kind of word of maybe what's happening for the kids' school and stuff. It's like, oh, my God, dude, I don't know what we're going to do, but. You know, it's at least everyone's trying to get out of it. You know what I mean? And then with all the protests and all that shit going on, you know what I mean? I've been pretty out of the loop in the last couple of weeks, you know, but I just kind of tuned out to, well, not tuned out to the BLM stuff, but the COVID shit. You know what I mean?
It's exhausting.
I mean, you can only take so much. You know,
it's exhausting. Like this has been a fucking hell of a 4 years. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you posted the other day. You posted the other day. Remember when you thought 2016 was going to be the worst year ever?
Yeah.
You're like, dude, I'll take it right now. I'll take it all day, dude.
Dude.
Day.
Like, I remember, I want to say, like, I mean, it might have even been like, I know I posted 2016, but it might have been like 2014 or something like that. I think like that was like the first like year when everyone was like, dude, this year fucking sucked, man. I can't wait for next year. And then it's just been like, worse.
Consistently worse and worse. And, you know, they said that the actual Mayan calendar runs out in 2021.
Oh, God.
Like, they just stopped calculating shit. They're all, nah, your kids aren't going to make it.
Whatever.
Nah, we're not going to fucking do it.
It's exhausting. I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
I'm fucking literally just exhausted. Like.
Yeah, it's a trip, man.
You know.
Have you had any, so I know that you're back to work and all that, but have you had any, like, any involvement in any of the protests or anything like that, Brooke? I mean, I know you stay pretty apolitical most of the time, but.
Well, you know, it couldn't have come at a worse time for someone well, for the world, but I don't want to sound like I'm any sort of fucking victim whatsoever, but I felt like a real, I was torn, man. Like these awesome protests are happening down the street. I could walk to them and be a part of this community thing that I believe in, and I want to show my support. But at the same time, if I get sick, I can't. I just can't. I can't. I'm trying to be, as careful, as commonsensical and careful as I can without. I'm not letting it dictate my life. I'm not like a germaphobe that's freaking out, but I also can't go walk in the middle of the street shoulder to shoulder with 2,000 people, So
right, yeah.
I guess it's just like
no, it's crazy. It's weird. It's weird. I understand exactly.
Yeah.
It's tough because it's definitely the most important thing culturally, socially, psychologically, everything everything that I've been feeling over this, and you just want to be able to vent or be around some positive people that want to make some change, and so it's pretty rough. But again, like we have social media, we're all in pretty good communication about stuff. Everyone feels, our circle of friends feels that we can talk to each other about stuff, and it's not like you're kind of sitting at home bumping into the corner or anything like that.
Right.
There are ways to share. So no, it's all super important. I feel
it's a trip because you can't like, obviously not everyone's gonna get out there and march and shit, but what is cool is that, like, we were talking about this at your party, is like, this is not news to us, you know what I mean, that the police are beating the fuck out of black people daily and getting away from it, you know what I mean. Growing up in punk rock, you see that shit all the time. We get treated like shit. I mean, obviously black people get treated way worse, but it's not, none of this is a surprise, but what is surprising is the overwhelming response to people being fucking done with it, you know what I mean. And I love that, dude. I love that.
Really,
I love that.
It's cool to hate cops now.
I know. Yeah. I was like, yeah, Shimer, you've seen Shimer's
mayor
live
of this town right now. Damn it.
Yeah. I've been in more trouble with police with this fucking guy for running his mouth.
And no, we have not gotten a single ticket.
Well, I know, but
we have not gotten
a lot of time wasted
in the back of a fucking cop car. They've just known how much love I have for them.
Well, it's like we're going somewhere, and all of a sudden there's a cop, and guess what? We're gonna be 45 minutes fucking late because Shimer's gonna talk some shit.
He's gonna say something. I know.
Yeah, but
I've seen it.
And that's the funny part is, like, it's like, dude, it's not news to any of us. You know what I mean? It's like, and I'm glad the world is finally starting to be done. And I think honestly, it took something like us being stuck in our houses for 4 months, to really be pent up enough to be like, fuck this, dude. This is ridiculous. I mean, you're seeing now with fucking black people being hung. You know what I mean? Like, have you seen that starting to happen all around? One in Lancaster, Victorville, fucking Georgia happened the other day. Literally a black dude hanging from a noose. Like, and then every single time the cops go, we think it was suicide. It's like, oh yeah, he fucking hung himself 10 foot in the air. Okay, sure, dude. There's no systemic fucking racism at all in the police department, right? That's what we're saying. You know what I mean? Like, the fuck out of here, dude. It's infuriating to watch. I mean,
you take away 35 million people's jobs, and then you fucking piss them off. Like, I don't think
it's good. I think it's good, dude.
This isn't ending anytime. I think this is the new norm.
The protests or the
protesting, how the world is. Like, this is just.
Well, it's good. It's what we need, man. It's what we need. We need to get people out in the streets and people voicing their opinions and saying exactly what they think is fucked up. You know what I mean? Because my kids are absolutely involved. You know what I mean? And it's gonna be their fucking world. And no amount of my good old boy country shit is gonna last another 30 years. You know what I mean? It's just not. It's just not gonna fucking last. So get over it. You know what I mean? It's I don't know what to tell anybody anymore. It's like, hey, get over it, dude. It's not gonna be your place no more.
Rip the statues down.
That's another weird one. People were pissed about the statues. It's like, You know, someone was like, hey, dude, if you rolled into a fucking town and saw a gigantic statue of fucking Hitler and you wanted it ripped down and people were like, that's my heritage. Everyone would be like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I've never learned a single thing from a statue.
Yeah.
It's a fucking statue.
And then, do you know that most of them were put up in the fucking civil rights era?
Yeah, as reaction.
As a reaction to the fucking, black people trying to become equals. So it's like they weren't there since the 1800s or the 1700s. Yeah. They were shitty bronze statues that were put up as like a big fuck you to the black people marching. You know what I mean? So yeah, fuck those statues. Rip them down. You know what I mean? Replace them with musicians and artists and people that actually fucking benefited the culture. You know what I mean? Like, everyone stole from black culture their whole lives. Blues music, rock and roll, fucking fashion, all these things. You know what I mean? Like, and now, it's like, fuck these guys, dude. I'm so done, like, having to figure out how to tiptoe around these morons all day, It really pisses me off when I think about it more.
Well, like you said, with your kids, and like, it's only positive stuff will come from those things being gone, whether we kind of immediately realize it or slowly realize it or one day realize it 10 years from now. Like, let me give you a really bad allegory, if you don't mind. I do bad allegories all the time.
Yeah, you're famous for them.
When I was growing up in Ventura, California, there was a store downtown Main Street.
I already know where you're going. Yeah, totally.
And big sign out front most of my life.
Oh, right? Yeah.
Retarded Children's.
Mm-hmm.
That was the name of the store. Retarded Children's.
Children's thrift store.
When I was growing up, that was the cultural word for, challenged people. Down syndrome might have been the medical term, but everything else, that was just it. And I didn't know it was bad. It probably wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad
until a point. Yeah. Otherwise, Ventura wouldn't have that store. But I had my only link to that was that fucking sign on that store.
Mm-hmm.
And so, obviously, some time goes by, and they realize that, oh wait, this is offending a group of people. This is terrible. This is really bad. We're hurting people with this. And they got smart, maybe a little bit too late, I'm assuming, but they took it down.
A lot too late.
Yeah. They changed it. And when they did that, I realized for the first time, like, oh, that was bad, and I'm going to personally stop doing that. When that store changed its name. And these people that sit there and say, well, you got to have a statue because you got to recognize the bad history with the good history. There's no such thing as all good history. That's the biggest giant pile of bullshit I've ever heard in my life.
Well, most history is bad. Most history is terrible.
I mean, yeah, you know what I mean? You don't celebrate it. You
don't need it. You don't need to celebrate it.
But your kids don't see that sign. It's gone. So they don't have that link, and they're not walking around using that word because they think it's culturally okay because there's no one ever told them that it wasn't, because there's not a fucking huge sign downtown in our town.
Dude, when we would have bands stay at your house or my house or John's house or whatever, we would go always downtown, go to the thrift store, show them the Ventura, at Vallarta, we'll go get some burritos, give them some good California burritos. And every single fucking time they'd look at that sign and go, is this seriously called the Retarded Children's Thrift Store? And you're like, yeah. And they're like, click, 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 click. Like everyone's taking pictures in front of it, and it was like that for years until they finally took that sign down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Way after they changed the name of the actual organization, and way after they did a million things. It took them a long time to realize it. But you're right. I mean, if I said retarded around my kids, they would gasp in horror. Yeah. Unless, and can we all agree that we're allowed to call flat earthers retarded? That's the only one I want to hold on to, dude. Because there are retarded things. If you're going to stand here and tell me the Earth's flat, you're fucking retarded, dude. I don't know what to tell you. You don't have Down syndrome. You're fucking, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. That's the one thing I want to hold it for. Can we just replace it to mean flat earthers?
Yeah.
It's like when some moron starts to tell you, oh, I'm not sold on the globe, you're like, So you're retarded? Oh,
Just be like, yo,
bummer, man.
let's call them earthers. Earthers. Flat earthers.
Yeah, I like the other one. I like the other version.
I like calling them flat earthers. Let's start a thing.
Yeah.
Whenever we don't like someone, we're going to call them a flat earther.
Flirther.
Yeah. Flirther.
Flirther. Flirther.
No, yeah. I don't know. It's just, that word is a great word.
Oh my God.
Does it mean?
Listen,
No.
I'm going to make flirther a thing.
Flirther?
Not fluffer.
Trending. Get that trending, John.
Flirther.
Get it trending in this motherfucker.
We'll get that shit trending.
Anyway, Brooke, would you do us the honor and kind of give us a little bit of a fucking tour of the place? Show us some of your favorite pieces.
Actually, is Andy's piece up?
Yeah, it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's see Andy's piece.
Okay.
Let's see your current favorite, because I know it will adjust.
It changes
over time.
daily, yeah.
It can change
Okay.
over time.
And then just give us some greatest hits, man. We want to see the place. This will be good.
And give us your
Okay.
newest.
No one gets to see this place unless you're there.
The first one, current favorite, and the newest.
Okay. I'll do like a quick hit tour. How about
Yeah.
that?
We can see other stuff too. You can tell us other stuff,
And for those of you listening, this is going to be really fun. Brooke will give you a description.
Listening, this is.
Yeah.
Of course, the light bulb's out. So we'll see if it's too dark here. Here's one wall. This is our good friend Drake Zoso from LA. This is John Stitch from the Bay Area. That's actually my old pet rabbit with a crown with an 86 in it. Oh my gosh, man. This is Chris Imana, Dave Burke, who's a big lowbrow artist. And then over here we've got KRK Ryden, who's wonderful. One thing I learned after kind of striking a friendship with KRK Ryden over the years is that he actually designed the Mystic Records logo.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in the early 80s.
I didn't know that.
Did he get paid by Doug Moody?
Does anyone get paid by Doug Moody?
No. No.
Anthony Osking. Yeah, geez. So okay, we'll do this. Can you guys see?
Yeah.
The light's a different color over here. This is a really cool piece from Danny Fitz. If you're into black metal, some goats.
Oh yeah.
Brian Walsby did a Black Flag piece. It's got a glare. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Melissa Bays did this really trippy, awesome.
That was Melissa's? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's my favorite.
Up here, Andy Proctor actually did several pieces. This is one. It's not the first one that we talked about. Alice Pasquara from the Bay Area. This is Jason Alexander Cruz, Johnny.
Oh,
From Spring Out.
that's my boy.
He did that piece. This is from a guy named Kinch, who's awesome. He's from Alaska.
That's one of my favorite ones right there.
That one, yeah, he's great. He's a nice guy. Luke McAuliffe did this one. Stacy Land did this big piece here. She's one of the big early juxtaposed scenesters. Got how about we'll show you the bathroom with the
yeah. Is it? Oh
yeah.
yeah.
There you go.
The gold album for the heavy metal soundtrack.
Yeah.
Right.
It's an important piece.
Yeah, it is. I love that.
I've stared at that so many times as I peed on your toilet seat.
I got to rethink moving that thing now.
Yeah, I didn't pee on it.
Spread disease all over the place. So this is Andy Proctor's first piece. Do you see it? The count?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Did the sound go out?
Is there 80? No, you're good. Is there 86 bats in it?
The hallway.
Nice.
I think the sound goes out the farther down the hall I go. So
okay.
Sorry about that. This is Matt Linares. He's up in the Portland area.
I love the wooden robots, man.
Yeah.
That dude is a beast.
He did another piece over there. He actually grew up in this area. He grew up in Oxnard.
Okay.
Really?
But I didn't meet him until he was already up north. So that was kind of a small world type of a thing. Jared Eastman's from Montana. What's that?
How many pieces are in the 86 house? Do you know?
About 270, I think.
Okay.
Maybe like 275 at this point. The last time I did a count was around 270.
Nice.
Dennis Warden, I love the pieces. This piece right there, that's Ron English did a painting over a Daniel Johnston drawing. You know, Daniel Johnston, the musician.
Yeah.
That's rad.
probably a little bit dark. Sorry, that's Michael Hussar.
I love that piece, dude.
That's a classic.
He did the painting on the cover of Army of Darkness, the Evil Dead 3.
Nice.
Dude, you gotta
What's that?
get that fucking DVD set away from that Derek Hess piece, man.
I know. Well, I didn't know I was going to be giving a virtual tour.
Well, I know, but yeah, in general.
That Mega Man piece was in Nintendo Power Magazine once.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool. There's another Matt Linares. This is a Tim Biscuit piece that's the newest piece. And Tim's
that's
awesome. I love him to pieces. He's one of the best known, like lowbrow artists ever been. He's just such a sweet guy.
So as we mentioned before, every piece has an 86 in it. What is the hardest 86 to find in any of the pieces, or the one that's near you? That's near you.
I think that would be probably the Stacy Land piece, just off the top of my head.
Okay.
It's actually, it's so hard to find.
Dinner pussy. Oh,
it's right there. Can you kind of see that?
No.
It's
I know you can if you're looking at it.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
It's there. Yeah. It's there. Listen, it's there. We're not gonna get up close.
And that's a cool thing. I mean, this is Mike Estes did this big giant piece here at the plane.
Fuck, man.
Got there's even stuff in the the bathrooms.
Yeah.
Murals,
Same, dude.
like,
Yeah. Love it, man.
Yeah, it's something to see
Yeah.
for sure.
It really is. For those of you who haven't been there, at least you get a glimpse, because there is a billion videos of YouTube and of us at the house playing around, messing around and stuff. But
yeah,
you never really get to appreciate it unless you see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's the Eric White piece that, like I mentioned earlier, kind of kicked off the whole thing. As far as the big name stuff, Yeah. So yeah, I could spend all day doing that, but
Yeah.
There's a story behind it. Well, hopefully, you get them all on Instagram and Facebook, and I know you've been posting a lot lately. So where can people follow this house, follow you, find your bands, all that stuff? Give us the lowdown.
Well, the Instagram, if you go to my account, which is 4score&6, there's almost all the art you find photos of it there. Maybe not all of it, but I'd say almost all of it. There is a Facebook page for the 86 Gallery that has all of it. And then for the band, there's the Spires HQ on Instagram, and then just the Spires on Facebook. And then me.
And you guys, when is your record coming out? The Spires record, do you know?
I don't know. I mean, it's just about done, and then it'll be mastered. But then, I mean, I got to imagine record pressing places or plants are. Are they even fired back up at this point? I'm not even.
Yeah, they are. I mean, we're getting our records. I think he shipped them out Friday, so we're getting ours. They're up and running again. But I don't know what the capacity is.
Yeah, I think we'll probably just cross that bridge when we get there. It's like you said. There's no timeline.
Right. So, yeah. I mean, we won't be playing music again for the next 2 years, probably. So. Yeah.
I would say hopefully, realistically, maybe like the end of the year, something like that. Just by the time someone masters it, and assuming that the record plant's gonna have a longer lead time than normal, probably something. I don't know, somewhere around.
All right, brother. Well, I love you, man. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for doing this, Brooke.
I love you guys more.
Yeah.
That was fun.